Hey queens, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we are talking all about base makeup. We are talking about foundation. We are talking about highlighting. We are talking about contouring. I have been trying to do this video. I've recorded this video 3 times already and did not like the finish. I didn't like the finished look, so I kept deleting it until I got it right. It is very important for me to put up content that I am 100% happy with all the time. So sorry for the delay, but the video is definitely here. Like this video, don't forget to subscribe, and let's get into it. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going in with the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. Okay, so after applying that, I like to go in with a setting powder. The setting powder I'm using is the Laura Mercier in medium deep, and I kind of use this to be my first layer of coverage, so to speak. And I learned this trick from SIENNA, and as soon as I started using this trick, I cannot do my makeup without it. I just kind of feel like my makeup doesn't look complete if I don't do this step. Okay, so that's pretty much what my base looks like. If you guys can see, I still have a little bit of hyperpigmentation peeking through, but that's okay because once I go over with my foundation, you're not going to be able to see any of that. Okay, so for the foundation I'm using today, it's going to be the Too Faced Born This Way in the shade Spice Rum, as well as the Huda Beauty in Mocha. Huda Beauty foundation is going to be a little bit more of a matte foundation, and I feel like the Too Faced kind of gives it like a nice balance. And for applying my foundation, I don't like to go down. I don't like lines on my face. I just like to pat it into the skin. I don't worry about going too close underneath my eye because I'm going to put concealer there anyway. I always make sure to move my nose and get the side of my nose so you won't have like foundation all like caked up on the side. Okay, so now I have that foundation on. And as you can see, you can't see anything. You can't see any hyperpigmentation. I mean, obviously acne, but outside of that, you have a smooth covered surface. Now for concealer, I know some people like to choose like a concealer that's like 2 or 3 shades lighter, or some people like to choose a concealer that's the exact same shade as their foundation, but they just like to use it to kind of spot conceal. For me, I'm going to use the Too Faced Born This Way Multi Use Sculpting Concealer in the shade Chai. And I would say if you are looking to figure out how to contour and highlight your face, you should definitely figure out your face shape because each shape is different. For me, I like to start at the corner of my eye and just kind of go right underneath my eye. I don't like to drag it down too low. My forehead, as well as down the center of my nose, my cupid's bow, and my chin. Now some people like to conceal first, some people like to contour first. It all depends on what you prefer. For me, only one shade lighter than my skin tone, and these are all the designated places I like to apply it. And then I'm going to go in with a damp sponge, but first what I like to do is let this dry down just a little bit just so I can get more coverage. So instead of going under my eye first, I'm going to start with my chin, and I'm just going to tap this in until it's completely blended out. And then I'm going to start with the corner of my eye and start blending this out. And sometimes you just have to keep going back and forth until it's completely blended out. I would just say just take your time with it, honestly. I think it's better just to kind of take your time when you're blending out your concealer as well as your cream contour, because you want to ensure that all of this ends up blended. It's better to just take your time with something versus rushing the process. And then when it's all said and done, not liking the look. So even though like when people record, they speed up the film, they speed up the actual process, it does take a while to blend this out. Okay, so now that that's all blended out, we have full, complete coverage. Now it's time for cream contour. Now see, for cream contour, to me, I'm always on the fence with that. I have a hard time finding certain things to cream contour with that doesn't seem to be too dark. But for today's video, we are going to be using the ABH foundation stick in the shade Cool Earth. I feel like this is a little bit too dark for me, so I'm only going to go in with a little bit. What I like to do is start at the top of my ear and kind of just go straight down underneath that. I think it's underneath like that cheekbone, right underneath there. And then I also put some on my forehead. I don't go all the way. I kind of leave this spot in the middle of my forehead kind of clear. I don't do my jawline. I just do my jawline with powder. And then to blend that out, I'm going to go with this flat brush. I kind of use it to blend out the cream and go in with the powder. And I'm just going to start at my forehead. And I just like to go in small circular motions. And then when going to my cheekbone, I always like to go up because you don't want to really drag down your face. And I just keep taking my time with this until I have this completely blended out. Okay, so now that I have that completely blended out, I'm going to go in and set my face. What I like to do is set my concealer first using the same exact sponge, but I'm going to work off majority of the product on the back of my hand. I don't really like to have a chalky under eye. I do like the baking concept, but sometimes for me, it makes my face look a little bit too dry by the time I'm done. So I'm just going to take my sponge and tap off the excess powder and start going directly underneath the eye where I place that product, starting at the corner of my eye. And whatever you do to one side of your face, you want to definitely do it to the other side of your face. I mean, I just squeeze my sponge and I tend to let that sit in the center of my nose because my nose is like the first area of which I start to sweat. And then I'm going to put some more of that powder in my corners of my eye. And I'm just going to leave it there and corner of my nose. Without trying to like pat it in, I just leave it there and just let it sit. And now to set my face, so I've been kind of going back and forth with different type of setting powders. I don't know if I want to use like a bronzer. Sometimes people contour more than bronze up the face. For me, I feel like bronzers really they really do it for me. So I'm gonna go in with this ABH bronzer in the shade Mahogany. I'm going to use the same exact brush. What I like to do is just always keep a paper towel on handy and just kind of wipe off the excess. And then we're going to go in with this. And I just get a little bit, tap off the excess. And when I apply it, I use the brush towards the end. Towards the end, I don't like to kind of use it like this because I feel like I apply too much force and then it just kind of looks like it's just powder sitting on my face. And then I just go in circular motions. You can also pat the product in as well in the same exact place that you placed that previous cream. Because whatever cream product you use on your face, you must set it with powder. Okay, so now that I have my bronzer on, before we get into blush and everything else, I'm gonna go do my eyes real quick and I will be right back. Okay, so I got my eyes done. Let's just dust off some of this powder. Okay, so I'm gonna take the same brush and I'm going to dip in a little bit of that banana powder. I'm just gonna take whatever's left on my hands and kind of clean up underneath. Before I go in with blush, I'm just gonna go straight in and do my lips. And I'm going to use the shade Club Hopper to line my lips. Okay, so now that I have my liner on, I'm just gonna go on top of that with some gloss. I'm gonna use my Kylie gloss in the shade Yes Girl. Okay, and for blush, normally I don't do blush all the time, but for this occasion, I'm just going to go right ahead and do it. And I'm going to be using the new Morphe like contour and blush palette, and this is what it looks like. And I am going to use, they don't really have like names, they just pretty much just say blush, bronzer, or brightener. I'm gonna use this shade right here, and I don't start all the way up here. I try to avoid that area because sometimes it gets a little patchy for me. My favorite highlighter that I'm completely obsessed with is the Jaclyn Hill highlighter. What I really like about these highlighters is that it really makes it look like skin. So like you really do get a glow, and I'm just going to be using this Morphe M10 brush. And I just start at the tip of my nose, starting up here, and just pretty much just placing a little bit right here, not much. And for setting my face, I like to go in with the All Nighter setting spray. This is the ultra matte one. I don't really feel like it makes my face really matte. It just takes out some of the powders to me, but it does help it stay. Like my face will last, like with this spray it will last. But first I'm gonna go in with my Fenty spray. I do that one first. Be sure to spray further away from your face and not really up close, because then sometimes it'll have like these little dots and stuff all over your face. And then I'm gonna go back in with my sponge and just press it into the skin. Okay, queens, that is pretty much it for today's video. If you want any more tips and tricks on makeup, please leave a comment down in the comment section below. I hope you guys are having a great day wherever you are, and I'll see you guys very soon in my next video. Bye.